Good afternoon. Can you believe that it is Friday, the end of another month, the second month of the year? The year is 1/6 gone. The sun is a third on its way up to its apogee, so that's kind of cool. The days are getting longer. We are not today expecting a trading range, basically for a couple of reasons. One, it's the end of the week, end of the month, and it doesn't usually bring in heavy institutional selling. And that's pretty much the case. We had a sell at 9 to 11 this morning, two pretty nice trades out of it if you were patient. We had a 2102, 2100 buy, just touched top of that. So that was our buy zone. So we pretty well bracketed the market. For several hours I've been calling for a close right here, and we can still get that, especially if the 50-lot player comes in. But just taking a look at the signals that were there that were given off, here's a retest failure. Right here, scratch, maybe make a little. If you don't get it on the second bar, move your stop to break even. Here's a reverse retest failure, value on low, or you miss the trade. Right here is a trade. It gets it on the second bar. We like the first bar better for a plus. A sell right here for a small winner. A buy at either of these two for a small winner. No trade here. There's a trade here for a plus. There's a trade there for a plus. So again, when you look at all those trading opportunities off the software that it generated for you, you got one scratch right here and some small winners. Now the devil's in the detail. I'm not saying, you know, you could have lost money taking every one of these signals. If you overstayed, you're welcome. The rest of it, but on the second bar, if you don't get follow through, you're stopped to break even. And this, all I did was pick off the trades that were right there on the screen with the B's and the S's, nothing else. Not the world's biggest trades. We didn't have a lot of volatility to work with today, but they were all they all moved in the right direction for you. So again, I think we did a pretty good job catching the market's boundaries and capturing what was most likely to happen today. I really like it when that happens, you know. Ha ha ha. Trading range market today, we've got an inside day so far, and that usually means trading range come Monday. The economic news was mixed today. The GDP number was a little better. The Chicago PMI number was worse than forecast. Michigan sentiment was better than forecast. So the news was mixed, and we didn't get much help out of that when you got right down to it. Okay, I'm going to do an L split right here. Move out of the middle. For those of you that are new, when you see these moves that come out of the middle, cancel your limit buy against the value area low. You have plenty of time to get long, and you might find yourself in a situation where you got yourself created an unnecessary loss. So put these back together. And assume that we're going to close here in the 0405 area. We're still looking at a piece, so I'm going to leave our buy in the 21-2102. It is where support is for the night, and buy two at 95.97. And on the sell side, we're going to leave it at 10, and then basically at 15. Okay, we do have news on Monday. We got personal income and spending. I don't have estimates for it. The big number, we got markets, manufacturing PMI. It'll take second seat to the ISM manufacturing index, and construction spending. So personal spending will be the first thing the market will react to, then ISM manufacturing. And we'll pick up those numbers on Monday. Listen to some weather reports right now. 1 inch by midnight tonight, and they're calling, they're kind of centering in on 3 to 5 inches by tomorrow evening. So we do have snow in the forecast. It is still winter on the south central plains. And Henry's purring like a cat. And fortunately, I have enough winter gear that cuts the wind, which is the most important thing around here. If you knock the wind down, you got a pretty good chance of staying warm. Okay, this we rolled, so there's a big gap right here. So that's when you can't really. The other contract was inside the boundaries, in fact, a little higher. So this actually F1 would tell us if we were looking at March contract higher on Monday. Definitely have a P right here, and we've got a structural cell up here. So we got a structural cell up here at 2, leaning against that, closing the gap. So sell failure to take out 28 to the buck Sunday night. That's the trade to see. Then 3 to 7. On the buy side, last rotate stop down at 21. Got the mode at 24, the mean at 22. I'm going to be cheap. I'm going to try for 17s to 21s. The idea that maybe the E-mini will come back a little bit this afternoon, then 9 to 13. May have to pay 25s to get in if the selling continues in the E-mini this afternoon. You know, when we think in terms of opportunity and what is presented to us right here, and, you know, most of us get into this game thinking that, you know, well, I've been successful in everything that I've done, and hard work and persistence will do that, but we're operating on a much different time frame right now. And you do decisions with uncertainty in whatever you your private practices or whatever's led you to this before, but you don't make them in our time frame. You usually have 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 1 to 5 years for it to work its way out. And so what's happening right here is that we make many, many, many more decisions than you would have to do in a business or a professional situation, and they all have consequences of winning or losing. And because of the number of these decisions that we have to make, and because of the impact of a loss, which is, depending on whose stuff you eat, 3 to 5 times more, has more impact on you than a win does, it really, really makes it difficult. So there are so many ways that can actually make you money, very few of them as robust and as good as ours are. But even with our stuff, you know, you got to battle yourself. You're the one that has to take the trades. You're the one that has to put the initiate. You're the one that has to put this thing on with uncertainty, and you know, the market's going to tick against you. So to fill, you're going to be wrong by at least 1 tick. And over time, that's just like Jeff said. After probably what Jeff considered a couple of light years, he just finally doesn't pay any attention to it anymore, and that it's. I call getting numb. You just screw it. Drive on. Next trade. But it takes a while to get there. I don't know anybody that has made this without mentoring of some way, shape, or form. The more impatient you are, the harder you make it on yourself. The more emotional you are, the harder you. That makes it harder too. So we're in the process of trying to dampen down the emotions, trying to be cool and calm about this whole deal, keep it in perspective, and, oh, gee, that was a nice winner. Oh, gee, that was a loss, but, you know, no big deal. And that's where you find yourself, where you have to take yourself mentally to be successful at this. Okay, on gold, we're going to be selling the 15 to 18 area again. That worked out pretty good for us today, then basically against 25. On the buy side, we know we have buyers down on the 5 to 7, so I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. So they took it up today. Maybe they'll take it down in London. They tend to do that. And you can see one day up, one day down, so maybe we'll be a little lower and be able to land the cheap and buy 2 against the buck, which is really where I'd like to do it. And Fitz, I want to thank you again for that 7-lot trader in the euro. Even though it is your nemesis contract, we all have those. It is the right number to track. I appreciate that. Fitz does good work. We have several features in our software that are directly from Fitz's input. And that's another thing that's nice about us. If you have something that you think has efficacy, that is right, that can help the other people trade, put it up to us. Most of the time it gets in. And crude oil. I'm going to look at the F1 on crude. So we got a buyer below 48.50. So you're liking Steve of The Castle. You're an ideas man. So if you haven't ever seen the movie The Castle, go out and rent it. It is a hoot. No 4-letter words or anything like that, but there's some really, really fun stuff in it. It's an Australian movie made maybe 10 years ago called The Castle. It's well worth your time. So 48.50, and then we got a pretty clean break up here at 51. This market normally moves $2.50 to $3. 48 area down there looks like pretty solid support on the F1 screen. And 51 allows them to get every stop they can get above 50, right? No prisoners. Okay, inside the congestion area, it's leaning B. We have rejected prices over 49.60. We're at 31, so we're going to make 50 to 75, sell 1. Maybe a little aggressive, and then 50, 50 and a quarter, let them get stops above 50 for sell 2. On the buy side, we touch 50. We got a B in here. We got a chance to go down, so let's make it 48 and a quarter, 48.50 buy 1. And 47.75, 48 buy 2. And let's look at the F1 on the euro. Okay, the bottom follows the market at 111. And we have gotten a little bit below 112. So 111, 112 is support. And looks like 14 is resistance. And this moves 2 to 3 handles when it moves. So we are definitely a B and definitely pointed lower, and we've got volume right here at 96. So 90. $12 is sell 1. It is aggressive of sell. If we don't take this B out, PDQ in the London session, look for short covering because we are at support. And last rotate up stopped at 20, so 20 to 30 would be sell 2. On the buy side, 1150 is a round number, short covering, buy 1. And then we'll make up 111 even for buy 2. And that's it for Feb 27, 2015. We've had a great week. We look for good things to happen next week, too. I wish you all a good weekend. We'll be enjoying winter for the next couple, 3 days with maybe some snow. There's snow in the forecast. We already have about an inch on the ground. I'm out of here.